So what we're doing in this video is picking up where we left off as far as setting up the what-if analyses and thinking about what would happen if we adjusted these things as far as our projections and our forecast are concerned. One of the things you probably want to do is print off a summary report of your various projections where you have your original, your best and worst cases. So we go through to our what-if analysis. We go to our scenario manager. You see here your various scenarios, and what we want to do is we want to print a summary. So its report type is scenario summary, okay? Result cells of the total revenue, okay? So what's going to happen as far as total revenue is concerned? We say okay. And what it does is it gives us a separate sheet with scenario summary. So you can see here's the summary of the original. Okay, and this was actually the best case and the worst case as far as our projections are concerned. And so here's the revenue that goes along with that. So that's what step 6 was really all about, pulling together the report that you would need as far as your various summaries. So now what we want to do is we also want to look at putting together and doing some more goal seeking as far as some of the things that we can do. So here you have a situation where you are doing some recycling of aluminum, plastic, and glass, and you can see the pounds that you collected for each of the locations and how much you're going to get per pound, what the total rebate would be. Now this is actually the solved piece. If you're looking at the original, you can see that we collected 130, 124, okay, this many, and we had a total rebate of $200. So now what you want to think about is, all right, so what are some of the things that we could do? In other words, what could we do to get this up to $50? How much would we have to collect? And so rather than trying to go through calculations and everything, let's let Excel do the work. So what we're going to do is we're going to select D4, okay, and this is step 6 in Pause and Practice 1. We'll click the what if analysis, all right, and we want to go to goal seek. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set cell D4 to 50. All right. And which cell are we going to change? In this case, it's the pounds collected. So we select that. And we select OK. So in order to hit $50, we're going to have to collect a little over almost 143 pounds. So we'll keep that solution. One of the things we also want to do is decrease the decimal on that. We'll go home. And we want to decrease the decimal to 2 places. All right, so now what we're going to do is create a scenario for this. Okay, this is step 8. So we're going to select cells B4 through 7. All right. We're going to go to our what if analysis under data. What if analysis, scenario manager. What we want to do is add a scenario, and this one we're going to say is current. So we're going to call this one current. All right. We're not going to change anything on here. Click OK. All right. And close. So what we've done is we've set up that what if analysis for the original, the scenario. Now what we want to do is go to Solver, and we have to think about what are the parameters we want to use as far as solving for a particular product. So for example, let's say we want to be able to maximize out what the total rebate will be. How much are we going to have to collect of each of these things here in order to maximize the rebate? So the way we'll do that is we'll go to the Solver piece. Now remember, if you have not already installed Solver, please do so. You see the steps on step 9. So what we do is we go to Solver. First of all, we select D8. We go to Solver. All right. We want to verify that D8 is the objective. Okay, it's not there, so what we're going to do is we're going to say there. D8 is the objective. And whenever you're coming up with the solving, you have the objective and you have the variables that are going to go along with that, and then any kind of constraints. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that it's max. We want to maximize the profit or maximize the total rebate that we want to get. Click by changing the variable cells, and we're going to select B4 through B7. So by changing those cells there, what will give us the maximum amount over here? Now the thing is, we have to add some constraints. What we do is then add the constraints to the solver problem. So we'll add, okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to say, all right, B4, and we want it less than or equal to, and the constraint is 150. All right. Then what we're going to do is add another constraint. We still want B4 greater than or equal to 130. So what's happening is we're saying that the parameters, we're setting this up so we're not going to collect any less than 130, but no more than 150. And then what we'll do is continue to add all of the other constraints, so that I'm going to get out of all this. When you're looking at the solver, you will have all the constraints you'll have two constraints, both an upper and a lower constraint for each of these things here. You put in all your constraints and then you click on solve. What it does is it comes up with a particular solution. What you can do there is then click OK and save the scenario. All right. So we're going to click on Save the Scenario. We're going to call this one Max. Okay, I already have one, so we're going to call it Max 1. Okay. We want to select the answer. Okay, here's the report, so we're going to select answer. All right, and click on OK. What it does is it gives you a separate page with the answer right here, where it's saying, okay, with these constraints, here is the original and the final. The reason why the original is showing that is because we had already made some adjustments to it. And so that is the report that you would get with using the solver for this exercise right here. That's about it for now. If you have questions, please give me a shout.